Hey, what's going on? It's Jeff Lerner here, and I want to take a couple minutes and answer one of the biggest questions that I get all the time. How do I have time to do it all? And they say, Jeff, how do you have time to do everything that you do? The first step in getting more done with your time is deciding that your time matters more. So many people, if they had a higher sense of the value of their own time, like if they literally felt like their time was worth $1,000 an hour, let's say, so much of what they do, they would stop doing because they would go, well, I ain't getting paid for this, or they would go, well, I'm not willing to spend $1,000 an hour in value of my own time to be wasting on this low-level stuff. And it's not about money and charging for everything, but it's just if you have this really high intrinsic sense of like, I have an hourglass, and in that hourglass is like gold dust, and the gold is literally dripping away every second that I have. You just start to approach things differently. But once you have that core belief, like I do, and I'll be straight up, I think my time is supremely valuable. I know my time is the most valuable thing in the world to me. Okay, let's say you have that belief now. How do you start to hack your life to be able to get all this stuff done? Build systems, you build processes, you build organizations. In this case, you build a company that can ultimately run on its own and set you free. If you read, Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, this is the B and the I, the business owner and the investor. These are the quadrants where you have other things, other processes, other people that are working to provide for you without you having to be present. And that, but even something like that requires a certain amount of obsession. And when I say obsession, I mean obsession with systems. And I don't just mean like computer systems. I don't just mean like, workflow systems. I mean systematizing everything in your life, systematizing your schedule. And in the world we live in, a huge part of that is computers, right? And systematizing your space and systematizing, how technology integrates with your space. So everybody's got to create their own utopia. And some people, need other people. For me, I figured out that getting my office out of the company and moving it down here a level where I'm literally can be alone for 8 hours, I can get so much done. And everybody's different. But my call to you is that you'll never create your own utopia of productivity and fulfillment if you don't first get obsessed with the value of your own time, and secondly, get obsessed with systematizing everything. Even the decision for me to live in the city where I live was part of a systematic decision to reduce the amount of time that I have to spend in the car getting places. It has to become truly, I think, a fanatical obsession. Waking up, being fanatical about structuring your schedule, that's just a decision you have to make. And it ripples back through a lot of other pieces of your life. But ultimately, I think it comes down to one principle. And I say this all the time. I think people hear me say it, and some of them totally jive with it, and other people, it's a little threatening, it's a little uncomfortable. But the principle is that good is the enemy of great. That's actually the name of a book. But good is the enemy of great. The biggest limiting factor that I see in most people's lives, it's not that they have all this negative, horrible stuff that's trying to hold them down or keep them from succeeding. It's that they have all this good stuff that's distractive and that's cluttering and that crowds out the potential for great stuff. We have so many things that we sign up for and that we opt into and that we agree to that I don't think we would if we had as high a standard of the value of our own time. If you really start to understand that just because something is good does not mean that it serves you. And in fact, in most cases, if something is good, it's a temptation to distract you from a potential for great. You'll start to operate a very different way and be obsessed. You're going to have to probably be a little weird. And some people aren't going to like you. And that's okay, because your life is your business card when you get to a certain level. Thanks for your time, everyone. Hope that helps.